Evening, folks, and welcome to the View podcast. A slightly different podcast tonight, but one that's very interesting nonetheless. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks, maybe just over a month on the channel, and giving you some information on the planned Leeds United Legends trip to Ireland in May next year. But we decided to get Tony Browne on to talk about it in more detail and give everyone a bit more of the backstory as to how it's all come about and who's involved in it. Plenty of people in the chat tonight. Let me know your memories of Leeds United Legends and the players, that when we do get to talking about the players, what your thoughts are on them and what your memories are of them. But I'm delighted to be joined by Tony. And Tony, if you just give yourself a brief introduction to everybody so they know who you are and what your involvement in this is.
Yeah, hey, good evening, Jared. Thanks for having me on. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, Tony Browne is my name. Colin Telford actually started the Legends XI 16 years ago. So between himself and myself, we've been doing games for the last 16 years, bringing over teams, Man United, Liverpool, Celtic, European legends, to raise money for charities and football clubs alike. The Board of Legends is the brainchild of Stephen Kelly and myself, more so Stephen than myself, and John Pender. The Board of Legends would consist of players that would have played in Dunleary, the Board of Dunleary. So we set up a team to play in charity events, to play against League of Ireland selection, to raise money for local charities in Dunleary. But this is probably the third or fourth game we've done now under the Board of Legends banner. So we're delighted to have Leeds across this year, or next year, I should say.
It's really interesting thing. And how did the Leeds involvement in this park come about, Tony? Or how did you get involved in trying to get this one off the ground?
Stephen is a mad Leeds fan, as was John Pender. And we've been trying to get Leeds for years. And pre-COVID, we were doing a Leeds game, and then COVID hit. I couldn't get my head around the Leeds fan base in Ireland. I'm a Man United fan, but every time I used to go into the airport and I'd see throngs of Leeds fans. I go, we're missing a trick here. But then we said, look, we have to do it. And I have to say, Jared, the response we're getting is just unreal. I think this has the potential to be one of the biggest games we've ever done in Ireland. It's unreal. I mean, a lot of the older group fans that would have supported Leeds in the 60s and the 70s. And I try to tell people this, look at the Premiership. Leeds back then were the gods. They were unbelievable.
Where?
You know what I mean? And even when I said it to my dad, and he's a United fan, and he said, I'm going to watch that because he has great memories of Leeds in the 60s and 70s. They're untouchable.
Yeah. Yeah, as the chat's chiming off here, Tony, about certain things. A lot of people saying, like, can't wait for the game. There's a few people already commenting on going to it. And Danny Talksport says, Leeds will always bring more. Whatever it is, Leeds will bring more. So it's a crazy fan base over here, because I'm the second generation Leeds fans, I suppose, over here. We're the sons of the 60s and 70s fathers who went off and supported Leeds after the great years that they had under John Reevy. So we inherited being Leeds fans, and sometimes it's a good thing, Tony, and sometimes I wish I'd inherited something else. But you stick with Leeds; it never leaves you. And as my partner describes them as being very polarizing, she calls them gaslighters, because they build us all up and then they crush us and then they build us up again. So the fan base here has been crazy for a long, long time. It's been one of the top 4 clubs in Ireland for a very, very long time. You only have to go as far as the Camden up in Dublin to see the Leeds United fan. Saturday. Yeah, it's crazy in there. So it's amazing. Even Ryanair twigged onto this a couple of years ago. There was a flight into Leeds early in the morning, and then there was a flight out at Leeds, I think at 5:30 or 5:45. So if you were going over for a day trip, you had to plan it to get out of there as quickly as you could to get to the airport. And now Ryanair changed it all. So they've got 2 flights in the morning, and they've got a flight out the last thing on a Saturday evening. So you just see so many people going over for the day now, and it's massive. Leeds travel over there. Aer Lingus are doing the same. So it is a huge fan base, and these kind of games are something we always look forward to. We used to be lucky to have Leeds over here every single summer playing against Shelburne or League of Ireland select teams, and that kind of slowed down over the modern era of football. But it's great to see players, Tony, that I would have probably grown up watching, would have been my Leeds team as a kid, growing up as a teenager, now coming over for this game. But can you give me some more detail on the Borough Legends themselves? Like who is there? And outside of the couple you've mentioned, is there anyone in there we should know about, or is there? What have they done in the past? Who have they played? How'd they get
Well,
on?
the Borough Legends would have played. They would have played Liverpool Legends before, Man United Legends, and we played the League of Ireland selection before. Now the Borough Legends, as I said, would have been lads that would have played for Wayside, Glenmore, St Joseph's, Ballybrack, and I've a couple of like Richie Parsons, ex Bray, Collie Tresson.
Oh,
I'm looking
Richie.
at the lads here: Robbie Coyle, Dax
Yeah,
Keeley, Marty Walters, PJ O'Connell, and Ian Marsh, both ex Leeds players
yeah,
are playing as well. They're from Dunleary. So it's just how they gather momentum. I had Ian Hart over here a couple of weeks ago, Jay, when we were
yeah.
launching the game. And he said to me, I don't think many people will recognise me over here. And I said to him,
You're
are you?
nuts.
He got absolutely mobbed. We launched the game down in Joseph's in Sallynoggin,
Yeah,
and he got mobbed. We brought him
yeah.
down to Dunleary. We brought him to a pub who was one of our sponsors. He got absolutely mobbed. He got slagged over missing the penalty, of course. And then he just was totally taken back. He says, I can't wait to tell the boys when I go back. I said, you're in for a great time here.
He
Trust
is.
me.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are expecting this to be like the dinner is just ridiculous. We haven't even advertised the dinner and there's over 20 tables sold.
Wow.
It's just going to
Easy nice.
be, yeah. And it's going to be, they reckon to be 2,000 or 3,000 people at the game out in Bray. So it has a great potential. And as I said, Leeds fans, I was getting phone calls, Jer, from Cavan, Dundalk, Belfast, Cork, from Leeds fans. There's people from England already booked into the hotel in Slogan
Yeah.
coming over for the game. So I was just scratching my head. But Stephen had warned me, this Stephen Kelly. He had said, wait to see what's going to happen. And I just think the turn of the year is just going to be mental.
If
Absolutely
you put a
mental.
Leeds five-a-side together in your backyard, and Tony, you'd have phone calls for people trying to book a room the night before. You know, they go everywhere and look at the pre-season tours that Leeds have done around the world, and they'll
Yeah.
Leeds this summer deliberately didn't give out the details of where their preseason camp was because they were
Really?
doing everything behind closed doors. It took a day before the fans to find out exactly where they were, you know, and there
Well,
was plans. So they do travel in their numbers, and they will come over for things. It's I'm not even slightly surprised. There's Tom Mulhall in the chat is saying don't forget about him as well, Tony, when you're talking about your people. So
Tommy Mulhall, Tommy Gassman. I played football. Tommy was a goalkeeper in Ballybrack.
yeah,
Uh, Great guy. He's only out of hospital. Great Leeds fan and an all-round great guy. And Tom does an awful lot for the Borough Legends as well. He's been there through thick and thin. Great guy.
yeah.
I have
Interested in reading off those names. I know a lot of those names, Tony, from playing football in Dublin, playing Leinster Senior League with Verona, and playing with Newtown Rangers as well for a very long time.
yeah.
There's a lot of say Joey's especially. I came up against them a ton of times. And my cousin Colin Talbot played for Wayside for a long time as
Collie.
well. You know Collie?
Talbot, yes, I do.
He's
He
my
was
cousin.
offside more times, that fella. What a player, though. Great
Uh,
lad.
yeah, I played with him for a couple of years at Newtown, but I would have gone to watch Collie playing when I was a kid as well. My uncle Mike, obviously his dad, but yeah, Mike was a big. I was pushed towards Shamrock Rovers to play for them because of Mike, because of his dad was,
Right.
basically like I was going to Rangers or Cherry Orchard at some point, and he said Shamrock Rovers are having trials, go up there and have a kick about and see how we get on. I luckily enough got picked and got into the squad. So, but that was all Collie's dad's work as
Oh,
well. But yeah, I did play with Collie.
what he
Some
was very
boy up
good.
front that throws weight around.
Yeah, he's a good lad. No, I tell you, I'm looking at even the way we're doing the game. We've 40 players playing for the Borough Legends, and we have guests playing for Leeds. So what we do is, rather than have two halves, we have kind of four halves.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
everyone gets 20 minutes, and there's a water break. So you have different teams coming on. But yeah, it has great potential. Jim Mann is playing. Looking at the lads here: Gary Kane, Ronan Corrigan, Jimmy Smith, all ex Ballybrack and Wayside. So yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be a good day out. Be a bit of fun, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And again, everyone in the chat saying can't wait for it. There's a ton of people saying that they're going to it. So some are based in the UK, which is great to see as well. Shane's talking about the Orchard, but yeah, Cherry Orchard, yeah.
Oh, the Cherry, Jesus, yeah, many a battle against them.
Loads. Crumlin United mentioned as well. I had a couple of battles with Crumlin United towards the end
Oh,
of my career, but yeah, two cracking clubs, two excellent clubs.
great
Tony, we got the
clubs.
managers in place for the Leeds side of things. So Mel Sterling and Paul Reaney will be in the dugout for Leeds.
Yeah.
Why those two lads and how did that come about? Not saying there's anything wrong. I think they're two smashing lads to get, especially Mel
Yeah.
Sterling. I used to love watching Mel.
Well, do you know what it was? We're talking to Andy Cousins in the UK, and it was just a bit of nostalgia. Like Paul Reaney, I said to my father, I said, Dad, who would you like to see out the Leeds team? He's gone on to Bremner and Giles and all these lads. He says Paul Reaney was one of the best players I've ever seen. My dad lived in the UK for a while. And then I was talking to other people out saying Mel Sterling. Everyone remembers Mel. And he's also a great after dinner speaker. So I said, do you know what? Put the two of them together. That'd be interesting. Because it's a bit of the old and like with Paul Reaney, like that team, like when you think about it, they were just unbelievable, that Leeds team. So I think it was great to get him. I think he's a massive icon. As I said, I'm a Man United fan, but I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah.
I mean, he is Leeds royalty. Oh, I can imagine. I can just imagine. Rock right.
Met him over at Navan White's in Meath. Had John Giles and Paul Reaney over for a talk, essentially, for a night out with the lads. And some of the stories they've got about their times at Leeds in England and everything else around that time are phenomenal. I won't take away because I'm sure they'll come up during the dinner. But I brought my dad, before my dad passed away when he was ill, I brought him over to do the whole corporate tour and everything else at the ground. And we managed to elbow our way into Massimo Cellino's office for that. We weren't supposed to be on the corporate tour, but we took a detour and ended up on the corporate tour, which worked out perfectly. Ended up having a champagne reception in his office. And I looked outside into the window. My dad was standing out on the balcony having a full-blown conversation with Paul Reaney about Jack Charlton and skipping training and how he ducked from doing laps of Elland Road. He used to hop on a bus and go around the corner and have a smoke behind the bush, and then he'd meet them on the way back into the ground and join back in at the end. So he has tons of them, and he's always very happy to share them. But a lovely, lovely guy and a phenomenal player for Leeds United in his day. And like Leeds have had great fullbacks, Ian Hart obviously being one of them, and has been said in the chat, Ian Hart saying he won't get recognised, one of Ireland's greatest fullbacks. So, yeah, and Gary Kelly on the other side as well, his uncle. But then go back to Leeds fullbacks, and Paul Reaney was probably one of the best right backs, as was Mel Sterling as well. We've never been short of a good right back, Tony.
No, in fairness, that's true. I mean, what's the other guy that played there for a while? Was it Danny Mills? Was he play right for?
Danny Mills was there for a while, as well. Yeah, him and Gaz.
Yeah.
So
they
Tony
always had solid teams.
Yeah, you've got some players already announced, so I won't take the thunder away from you. I'll leave it to you. Who's coming over so far? There are more to be announced, but as of right now, who have we got confirmed and who are we looking forward to seeing coming over?
Well, Ian Hart, Ian was the first one. Michael Bridges, Andy Cousins, Ross McCormick, and Ben Parker was confirmed last week. Now, 3 or 4, hopefully big names, but I'm just waiting on answers from them with TV commitments. And the 3 boys that I'm chasing, if I get them, it'll be just absolutely mental. Trust me. So I'm waiting on them. And the way the game works out, the championship finishes, I think, on the 3rd of May. And our game is the following week. And already people have said to me, sure, if Leeds win the league or go up, sure, it'll be just one big party. And I didn't think of that when I was booking the game. That was just a date we had. But so it could be interesting once you don't, like last year, what happened last year towards the end of the season, if they don't throw it away. But they're looking good. So look, that's a couple of names. If you get the other lads, I'll be really happy. You know, either way, it'd be a brilliant Leeds team. And as I said, I think it's the first time a Leeds Legends team has played in Ireland. So really looking forward to it. I really am, and you know it's out in Bray as well, so it's on the Dart line as well. So it's acceptable. Yeah,
cracking ground as well. The Carlisle ground is a good Irish ground. You know, it'd be a cracking day out there, and Bray's a nice little place to be as well for a few points before or after the game as well. So won't be short of a few. The charity, this one you mentioned for charity, Tony. What's the charity that's associated with this one?
Well, Tony McGurk, we're calling it the Tony McGurk Cup. I'll give you a history of Tony. Tony McGurk was my manager. All the lads that I've mentioned, they've all played either with Tony or under Tony, either out in Bray, either out in Ballybrack, either in Joey's. Tony would be well known in football circles in Dublin and especially on the south side. Unfortunately, this year Tony had a stroke, and he had to do an awful lot of rehab in Donnybrook Hospital. And
Yeah.
when I seen a video was sent to me of Tony doing his rehab. Now, Jerry, if you knew this guy, it was shocking to watch. And I just made a few phone calls to the lads. I said, look, we need to do something for Tony, because going forward, he's going to have to get extensive rehab, and his house will have to be changed for different things, for wheelchairs and stuff like that. I did expect a lot of lads to come back to me, but I have to say it's been overwhelming, the amount of people that have come back to me to say, what can we do? You know, sponsors, guys that have played in Ballybrack and all the clubs, they've all come back and say, look, Tony, what can we do? What can we do to help? So we're just trying to raise as much money for Tony. It does cost a few quid to put these events on, as does any event, but the rewards for him. And do you know what? It's actually given him a pep up, because when we told him we're doing the match, he got very emotional, and he didn't think like that many people would know him, but he's just held in such high esteem by everyone in football. Joey's like out in Joseph's senior team, Wayside, Crumlin, all the teams, Bray Wanderers. He was manager of Bray Wanderers and a coach when they won the cup under Pat Devlin. So he's well respected. So everyone, in fairness, I think from Bray to Dunleary are all getting behind the man. So hopefully we'll get a great crowd and a sold out event from on the day.
I've no doubt.
Yeah, he deserves it. He's a great guy.
Does. Yeah, I've no doubt you'll get this with this, Tony, especially with the upcoming news, hopefully, of more players to be announced. Shane is asking, is there any news on Gary Kelly playing? I don't know. Gary's always floating around the Leeds thing somewhere, so you never know, but you'll have to wait.
Yeah, you never know. You put the feeders out, and I'll tell you what happens. What I've learned over the years, Jerry, when you're doing a Man United game or a Liverpool game, and you might say to Brian McClare, for example, look, we have a game coming up.
Yeah.
He'd get on to the lads and he'd say, by the way, lads, we have a game in Dublin. And then that's what happens. Usually the lads will all start talking. I presume they're all on WhatsApp groups and you're going to Dublin. What's on? And then suddenly you get a phone call. Oh, can I play? And that's usually how it can work sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, but we'll see. We're only around the road from here, Jerry. We might meet Mountain Deleek someday.
We will.
The
amount of people that I'm bumping into now that either doing something to connect to this or with another channel, like the only Leeds bros who are another Leeds channel, and they're in the chat here today, around the corner from my house, like literally around the corner. And Duleek is a tiny little village outside of Dublin, like it's teeny, but only around the corner from you as well, mate. So definitely will. And we'll get more information on this as it comes out, and as Tony has more details to share, you let me know. I'll make sure they're here as well. And Tony, we might get you back on again before the game as well, just for the final kind of details on when it's all finally sorted out and everyone's locked in. But we'll keep everyone up to date. There's a couple of people here. Barry Salt says, bought my tickets. Myself and my son are flying over to meet and see the match, which is great to see. There's a couple of others there as well who've got tickets that are going to see it as well. So people flying in for the game, Tony, which is, again, I shouldn't be surprised. Leeds have a fantastic fan base. They follow them everywhere. And when there's a good cause, they really get behind it as well. So it's fantastic to see this. And Danny's from TalkSport saying it's great to see everybody. So yeah, this will be a good trip. I'm excited about it, Tony, because as I said, I grew up watching an awful lot of these players. I would have been 8 when Leeds won the league with Mel Sterling in that team. And then obviously I was around for the Naughties team that flirted with European success. So this will be my chance to see these guys up close, and nice to see Ross McCormack back in the Leeds shirt after a very, very long time, and maybe he gets to say goodbye the right way as well from Leeds, because things didn't end the way he would have wanted them at Leeds. So be nice. Babs McGinty also has this ticket. He gets free travel because he's over 65.
Love it.
Nice one, Babs. Folks, we'll leave it there. Tony, any more information? The ticket link, by the way, down below in the description, folks. If you haven't got your tickets, if you want to get them, I've been saying it for weeks, is a really good Christmas present for a Leeds fan in your life, getting ready for this game. Get it for them before Christmas, give it to them. They have it then, and plenty of time to get ready for the game on the 10th of May. So it's a really good one to get. The links are down below for the meet and greet and for the tickets. You can check them out if you want to. Tony, anything you want to leave us with before we wrap this up, and anything you want to let people know?
Yeah, the 21st of February, we have Ian Hart and Stuart Dallas coming over for a Q&A night in the Talbot Hotel in Stillorgan. And I'm not trying to, how would you put it, look at all the other Q&As that are going on in the country at the moment. 300 quid, 400 quid for tickets, just scandalous. These are 30 quid, 50 quid for a VIP ticket, up close and personal. It'll be a good night. Stuart Dallas, Stephen keeps telling me the White Cafu, what a player, and Ian is over as well. And Andy Cousins is going to be doing MC on the night as well. So we're expecting a good crowd at that as well. So it's a total Leeds night. It's a Friday night as well, end of week.
Yep.
I think Leeds are away that Sunday as well, that weekend. So that could be a good night out as well.
Yeah, another one to keep an eye on. I'll get details off you afterwards for that, and we can promote that one as well for the guys. Evan's asking, is it Bray's home pitch coming in from Limerick? Yeah, it's the Carlisle ground, so it's Bray's current home pitch. Yeah, there's a bit of work on there at the moment, but it's there. It's there in the pitch. Many chats with Gary Shane had many chats with Gary Kelly here in Drogheda. Yeah, he's a good bloke, and he's very much around the Drogheda area. Ger was 11 when we won the league title under Wilco. Yeah, we're aging, mate. We're getting older. It's becoming further and further away since the last trophy. So, yeah, hopefully something good soon. Tony, massive thank you for your time. Just a quick update for everyone before Tony goes, just on the channel itself. 2 brief bits of updates. I'll give you more information over the week. People have been asking about merchandise from the store. There will be merch coming very, very soon. Spoke to a guy during the week, and it's all sorted and organized. That will be coming probably in the new year. I'll give you details on that when the store is set up and ready to go. And there will be, people have been asking me to do watch alongs for 2 years, and I keep saying no. I'm testing out a new live streaming platform with a company called Big Up. It's only for live streaming, and I'm going to try a live stream watch along on that platform. Hope possibly this weekend, possibly the weekend after, just as a test to see what the platform is like. So if you want to see that, you can check that out as well. But I will get you more detail on that towards the back end of the week when everything is sealed and delivered, as I should say. At the moment, it's still a conversation, but we'll get some info on that for those who are interested in it. And outside of that, back in the morning for the news, and we'll have the match day preview for the game on the weekend on Thursday. And I've got Ben Locklocky Leeds in tomorrow night to do a tactical breakdown on Leeds' away record this season and why it's not working out the way we thought it would. So you can check that out. Plenty to come. Tony, thanks again for your time. I really appreciate it, mate.
Thank you, Ger. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime, mate. Thanks. See you, folks. Bye.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.